We currently have the best deal of the year live now on poodlecfb.com. If you use code FLASH, capital F, you get $65 off the annual plan, or if you use code FLASH 2025, capital F, you get $6 off the monthly plan. You unlock exclusive spreadsheets, in-depth info, and our members-only Discord. Come join thousands of other members in the fastest growing and best CFB Dynasty community out there. Don't miss out. Hey, what's going on, everybody? It's Poodle back with another CFB 26 video. In today's video, I'm going to be showing you guys a super cool strategy to maximize both your floor and ceiling in Dynasty mode. Guys, we're running a special deal right now. If you use code FLASH, capital F, you will get $65 off the annual plan. If you use code FLASH 2025, capital F, you get $7 off the monthly plan. This is the best deal so far of CFB 26. It's a grandfathered in deal, so if you lock this in, you get to keep this deal for the remainder of the lifetime of your membership. Check it out, guys. We just launched Player Calculator V1, which allows you to input your archetype, your skill points, and the level of your player, and it shows you exactly how long it'll take them to grow and how many skill points they need. It'll show you the fastest versus slowest growing archetypes. We launched our master spreadsheet, which has thousands of lines of data over multiple tabs. We have a lot of other tools over there that you guys want to check out. Want to be a part of the best discussions in the best community in CFB right now? Make sure to check it out, guys. The game got patched multiple times this week based off of testing and data that we have over there on poodlecfb.com. So come be a part of it. Sign up now. Use code FLASH or code FLASH 2025. So I'm starting us at the end of season recap. So one thing that you want to be focusing on when building your team, especially in a manual progression league, is properly allocating your skill points in a way that preserves your roster, but also makes you competitive. And that's super important. This can be done a few different ways. So let's sim. Well, before we sim, let me show you a few things. Let's go take a look at our roster. Every year you want to do is you want to look at your roster and understand where you're at. So right now, let's look at how our roster is about to turn over. Harold Perkins is about to be drafted. Garrett Nussmeier is a senior, so he will be drafted. Ashton Stamps is about to be drafted. So is Whit Weeks. So is Anderson. So is Durham. But keep this in mind. When you're in that like 89 to 92 overall range, you're on the cusp of being forced to be drafted. This is the point where like you can kind of persuade them. You could stop them. But remember, if they go above like 92, 93, 94, 95, it gets to a point where it's just super low chance, especially if you're winning natties and they're having great seasons. But what you want to get to a point is get your player to a threshold where you can avoid the draft. Now, the best way to do this is first understanding the overalls and where players are drafted, potentially having a package, but it's really allocating your points effectively. So let's look at Harold Perkins, someone who's about to be drafted. If I was to upgrade this guy anymore, he would likely get drafted in the first round. But when you look at Harold Perkins, 92 speed, great edge rusher, 97 finesse move, there's not much left to upgrade on him that I absolutely need right now while he's a junior. So what I rather do is, in the meantime, is get some of these abilities up, because that doesn't make him any more draftable, but he needs that. He needs better robber. He could benefit from me upgrading knockout or house call if it could be upgraded. So what you want to be doing is first heading over to settings and ensuring that this feature is off if you have the opportunity to do so. If not, depending on how your league has it set, but make sure that auto progress players is off. And what you want to be doing is every year basically hoarding your points and assigning things strategically to retain your roster. So for instance, let's go another week right here with this advance. Let's go to draft. Let's go to the players leaving week and let's take a look at what we're dealing with in terms of players that are leaving. Now, this works better any other time but the first season. The first season is tougher because you're going to be dealing with players who are kind of set to leave already and players that you're not building. And also, you don't get a lot of points until the training. So that first player's leaving is hard to really impact in terms of this. But let's look at this. Anderson, chance of staying. All these guys are very, very low, as you guys can see, in terms of retaining. Now, in terms of the draft, let's look at this one guy. He's our one guy that's about to be drafted. We'll try to retain him. Has not been persuaded. That's fine. Let's go to the next week so I can show you guys what this looks like with training results. So let's take a look at what we've accrued. And remember, this is a 2-season process in terms of starting from season 1. So I'm starting here so you guys can understand. Season 1 is less impactful from this strategy point of view because a lot of these guys are set in stone, what they're already doing, their overalls. A lot of your points come during the training result period and the players leaving phase, and draft results are all before this. But going forward after that first season, this is golden. So look at Harold Perkins. He has 29 points. So when we go to that first training results period, I'm going to take a look at my key players, my roster, and see what should I be doing. He's a senior. Harold Perkins will be drafted no matter what next season. So we no longer care about his manual progression. Now in that first season, had you accrued a few points with Harold Perkins, you would have wanted to not spend them because he was this close to being drafted. So you would want to save those points until this offseason because now he's a senior. Now you can maximize, similar to last year with Garrett Nussmeier, not getting him drafted in year 1, you wanted him drafted year 2. So Harold Perkins is now safe for all of his points to be spent because we know he's going nowhere. I mean, he's leaving regardless. So that's the first one. We evaluate him. Then we go to this next guy, DJ McKinney. He's a senior. Same thing. Go all in. Now Durham is our first interesting case. He's an 89 overall. If I go all in with these 34 points plus next season, I likely will get him drafted next year. So what I'm doing in this first look at him is like, how can I maximize him to be effective on the field but not make him draftable? And this raises your ceiling, because think about this. What sucked last year, it felt like every time you finally got a player where you wanted them, they got drafted. Now I can turn Caden Durham into an absolute monster, but keep him just short of where his ceiling is. That way I can use him for his junior year and then get him for his senior year. Now you might be saying, okay, well then aren't you technically wasting his potential? No. Think about it this way. In the start of his junior year, if I went all in on points and upgraded his cheapest stuff and got him up to a 93, 94 overall, whatever it is, in plus season, he'd be a shoo-in to be drafted heading into a senior year. So that means that I would get one peak season with him right now. One peak season, per se. If I was to save these points and spend it right after draft results in next trading period, I would get a pretty good peak season this year, because he has what you mostly want from him. He has the speed, he has the elusiveness, he has most of what you want already. He's a very functional player, but now I get his junior season at like 90% peak. Then when his senior year is about to start, after we miss the draft, I can then go all in and spend all of his points because now he's a senior, and I could have a super peak season plus a 90% of that peak season, which equates to about, let's call it 180% or 190% versus 200%, versus just having one peak season of 100% peak. That is going to be the key to retain your ceiling. And remember, while doing all this, first, you'll ensure that more players go first round, because you're not getting them drafted like 4th, 5th, 6th round. You're going to always throw them up to a high overall, get them first, second rounder. Also, it gives your young guys more time to grow, and you get out of that situation where like you finally get Durham to a 90, you're finally hitting the ground running, and then he leaves you and you're back to your 82 overall running back, and it's like you reset a whole skill level at a position group. Like, oh, our corners are bad again. This will retain guys long enough to always have them like super functional and starter ready. So for me here, I'm looking at him like, what do I need first? I'm going shifty. This doesn't make him any more draftable, but it makes him super shifty. So there we go. 18 points, has platinum shifty now, and I didn't make him go up in overall at all. Now, technically you could stop here, but if you really wanted to push it one more, you may say, you know what? I want one more chance at speed. 98 excel, that's fine. Got him to a 90 overall. You could stop right there. You could have stopped already. This ensures that Durham stays for his senior year, and you get a great season out of him this year on top of his next year, which will be absolutely peak. And you want to do this with your whole roster, just assessing. Like Harlem Berry is a great example of this. He's a sophomore already. Had I redshirted him, he'd be a redshirt freshman at an 83 overall. Now I'm gonna show you guys what happens here. Let's do the inverse. Instead of saving him, let's go all in on things that we may want to upgrade, and let's just go with the cheaper stuff, like what auto upgrade would do to you. So let's get his IQ up, because this is what auto upgrade does. So I'm gonna show you guys exactly what would happen. Look at his overall. Now, what else would they have upgraded that was the cheapest? Route running, hands. Upgrade some hands here. And this was kind of the issue with last year. Really was mostly the issue with last year. He's a 90 overall in his sophomore year. And let's say I redshirted him. He'd be a 90 overall in his redshirt freshman year, because that's what the game did last year. So now, Harlem Berry and Durham, if he was auto upgraded, if both these were auto upgraded right now, I'd be losing Caden Durham and Harlem Berry to the draft this year consecutively. So now, what went from one of the most promising running back rooms in the entire nation, where Durham in the senior year with platinum shifty, absolutely killing it. Harlem Berry is a redshirt freshman in the wings, ready to come in with platinum shifty next. I'm now going to lose both of them to the draft this year, because again, if I had done this, he'd finish out this next season likely as a 92 overall, especially with my talent developer build and the extra boost for Whisperer for a talent developer, and Durham would have finished as like a 92, 93 as well. Both of them likely get drafted. Now I have no running backs. Now, if we did it the way I said to do it, Caden Durham stays till the senior year, because you're going to withhold points. And then Harlem Berry, what you do is you wouldn't have upgraded that stuff on him. What you would have upgraded was this. Instead of touching that stuff, what you would have done was went to physicals. You would have gotten his shifty up as soon as possible, got that to platinum shifty, and then you would have just upgraded his speed and elusiveness back and forth on repeat, basically the rest of the way. And if you want to get some toughness in there, maybe power. This would ensure that he stays below 90 overall for the majority of his career. You likely can get him to senior year as a max speed, max elusiveness, max platinum shifty without going above 90 overall. So basically you're cutting out all the fluff of his overall and making him to where he still has the speed, he still has the looseness, and he has platinum shifty. You're just not upgrading IQ in hands, which doesn't really help you on the field much at all, especially when you're using him. But instead, this got him drafted, the other one doesn't. And you want to do this for your entire roster. I'm not going to keep beating a dead horse. I feel like I really got the point across here. You want to do this with your entire roster, and you're going to see, like I said, going to the second season. That first season's tough because you're not going to get much. You don't ever hit that first training window. But do this with every player in your roster. Take a look through and see how you can preserve guys to the best of their ability. Even for just for the sake of it, let's look at a quarterback. Quarterbacks are a little more interesting because their biggest thing to help their overall is going to be their accuracy, and the thing you need the most is their accuracy. So what I'd recommend with quarterbacks is starting with getting their accuracy up and then work from there. Because as you see, we're going to cap this guy out on accuracy, but he didn't hit a draftable overall yet. But he has all the accuracy you want. Look at him. He's a beast at throwing. Let's stop there. At this point, don't touch IQ. Don't touch health, really. I mean, maybe you should, maybe you shouldn't, but IQ is going to be the worst one. As long as you don't touch IQ, you can keep him below 90 overall because you don't have enough points on power or quickness to actually impact. Like if you do 2 power per season, that's not going to get his overall much. So then from here, you got your accuracy, you got your throw power up, you could stop there, maybe you can go speed, but then you can focus strictly on abilities and you'll never have to touch his overall again. And this is another quarterback that we'd be able to keep for all of his years without going above his thing at a maxed out accuracy. So that's the beauty of auto progression, manual. If you're on auto, this becomes a little bit tougher because obviously you can't withhold certain things. However, it all comes down to your coach build, how quickly you get them built up. If you're on auto, you may want to go for one of those packages that delay Sunday or more persuades to try to keep them in there. But if you have manual progression in your league, guys, this is a super dominant strategy to hold on to elite players. See how these are all 90s? What happens is you sim to the next season, people get drafted, and then you drop into like that 89 range again, 88 range. If you can keep this guy like Barry and Durham one more year each, Durham will go up to like a 95, 96 overall into a senior season after training. And Barry, you can hold him here, and then his senior year, go to 96, 97, 90, probably 99. He'll be a 99 his senior year. But what you do is you just hold them for their elite senior seasons. And people, like I said, will say, well, doesn't that mean that I never got to use their elite tiers? No, in CFB 26 and CFB 25, you never got to. I had this one edge rusher who started off so elite, and he was drafted by his junior year. Every elite player you had was basically like they'd hit their elite window and instantly get drafted. Now you basically can use their elite window for 2 years instead of 1. And Harlem Berry, and this is where this gets really crazy. If you can bring in elite recruits like Harlem Berry or guys that are impact players day 1, you can technically get 5 years out of them. Versus before, if you had an elite freshman who started off as like an 82, 83 overall, they had 1 year as a redshirt, 1 year as a on-field player, and then next year they were basically drafted. Now instead of 2 to 3 years of elite production, you get 5. And the beauty of that is that some of these other guys with the redshirt year doesn't count as playing, so you really only get 2 years on the field with them. Now you can get a total of 5. That is 3 more years, and let's call it 2 more years, I guess, if you take away the redshirt year. But it is absolutely huge. And then in the meantime, you have all these other guys who are still growing. Guys, I can't emphasize this enough. Make sure you are properly allocating and let's call it like hoarding. Make sure you're hoarding your points and effectively spending them. Don't try to throw their overall up until you absolutely need to. Of course, let's say Harlem Berry's ready to go and you're tired of Durham. Upgrade him. Get you that huge draft boost for Berry. That way you can kind of like tier him out. Get Durham drafted 1 year before Harlem Berry's senior year to make sure that he gives him that big boost for that offseason so you don't lose those 2 boosts. And then Harlem Berry can give his boost to the next set of running backs and time it that way too. Of course, if you're ready to get rid of that other quarterback, just get him drafted quickly so you can get your elite dev guy in the field. That's one other strategy. Let's say you had a elite dev freshman, and you had a sophomore redshirt QB who he's really good, but you're ready to start, like you're going to start Hurley. Let's say he was a freshman elite dev and you're going to start him. So this guy's not going to play anymore next year. Instead of withholding him for top tier talent, in that case, you would do the reverse and spend his points specifically on IQ, on health, and get his overall up to a 95. That way he gets a super good talent developer first round draft bonus to give to your elite dev guy that's hitting the field. So you can also utilize it that way. So make sure you are inversely doing this as well. And just show you what I mean. So again, health and IQ and stuff are some of the cheapest things that upgrade them. Go on your quarterback, max out their IQ once you're ready to draft them. This applies to most players. If you want them to get drafted because you have a freshman or sophomore waiting that they're starting next year, they're elite dev, they're hitting the field, make sure you use your points. And they're the cheapest thing. If you upgrade any of this stuff, you're not going to get their overall up in time. If they're a junior, sophomore, redshirt, and you want them drafted, go all in on their IQ, get their overall up, get them that big draft bonus, and get them off your team. Unless you just want to hold your overall up, you can do that too. But that's basically it. If you guys want to be a part of these discussions, all the data studies, all the math, all the things we do over there to give you guys videos like this, plus more in-depth and more broken down, plus direct access to me, heading over to poodlecfb.com. We're currently running our best deal of the year, and you're grandfathered in for life once you sign up with these deals. So if you lock it in now, for as long as you want it, you have it. Code Flash capital F gets you $65 off the annual plan. Code Flash 2025 capital F gets you $7 off the monthly plan. Make sure to check it out, guys. The best place to be if you're a CFB diehard. Check it out. We are over 1,000 active members. Come join the best community in the space right now. Thank you guys for watching. I'm out. Peace.